Tutankhamun's mask is an icon. And I think part of it is because it is made of solid gold, and a lot of people get wowed by that.
Joe Rogan shocked after AI was used to scan King Tut's mask, revealing what we all missed. In 2023, AI scans of Tutankhamun's mask exposed hidden layers beneath its surface. What looked perfect since the 1922 discovery may actually be altered, revealing details from ancient Egypt no one noticed before. The scan that changed everything. In recent discussions involving Joe Rogan, attention turned toward new findings connected to the Tutankhamun mask. During 2023 analysis, advanced AI imaging techniques were applied to the artifact, revealing details that had never been seen before. What was once considered a flawless royal mask began to show subtle inconsistencies beneath its surface. The scans identified layered structures within the mask, suggesting it was not created in a single process. Certain sections appeared modified, with differences in composition and design that were not visible to the human eye. These findings were confirmed through repeated digital analysis, highlighting patterns that pointed toward alterations made after the original construction. What made this significant was the precision of the artifact itself. For decades, the mask had been viewed as a perfect representation of royal craftsmanship from ancient Egypt. However, the AI results suggested that adjustments had been made, possibly to fit a different identity or purpose. As researchers reviewed the data, the idea emerged that the mask may not have been originally designed for Tutankhamun. This possibility aligns with other irregularities found in his burial, raising new questions about how and why certain artifacts were used. The discovery did not change the mask's importance, but it added a new layer of complexity to its history. The boy king behind the mask. The story of Tutankhamun begins during his reign from 1332 BC to 1323 BC, a period marked by political instability in ancient Egypt. He became pharaoh at a young age and ruled for a relatively short time before his death. His tomb, discovered in 1922, discovery within the Valley Kings, remains one of the most important archaeological finds ever recorded. Unlike other royal burials, his tomb showed signs of urgency. The space was smaller than expected for a pharaoh, and many of the items placed inside appeared to have been repurposed. Some objects carried inscriptions that did not originally match his name, suggesting they were altered before being included in the burial. These details point toward a rushed preparation following his sudden death. The kingdom may not have had enough time to create entirely new artifacts, leading to the reuse of existing royal items. This pattern has been observed in several pieces recovered from the tomb, including jewelry, furniture, and ceremonial objects. By 2020 research, historians confirmed that Tutankhamun's burial differed from traditional royal practices. The presence of modified artifacts supports the idea that his burial was completed under pressure, which may explain why certain objects, including the mask, show signs of adjustment rather than original design. The mask everyone thought was perfect. For decades, the mask of Tutankhamun has been seen as one of the finest creations from ancient Egypt, admired for both its beauty and precision. Discovered during the 1922 discovery in the Valley Kings, it quickly became a global symbol of royal power and craftsmanship. Made from gold and decorated with stones like lapis lazuli, the mask was believed to have been created specifically for the young pharaoh. Every detail carried meaning. The facial features, the inscriptions, and the materials were designed to represent divine protection and authority in the afterlife. For years, experts viewed it as a flawless example of ancient design, with no reason to question its origin or purpose. However, as more detailed studies were conducted over time, small irregularities began to emerge. These were not obvious at first and required closer inspection to identify. By 2020, historians had already noted that some elements of Tutankhamun's burial showed signs of reuse, raising quiet questions about whether all items were originally made for him. The mask remained central to this discussion because of its importance. If even this object showed signs of alteration, it suggested that the burial process may not have followed traditional expectations. What was once accepted as perfect began to be viewed with more attention, opening the possibility that its history was more complex than originally believed. What AI actually detected. When advanced imaging was applied during 2023 analysis, the mask revealed details that had remained hidden for decades. AI-assisted scans detected variations in metal composition beneath the outer surface, indicating that different sections may have been created at different times. These findings suggested that the mask was not a single, unified piece, as previously thought. Further examination showed subtle differences in craftsmanship across certain areas. The facial structure appeared slightly adjusted, as if it had been reshaped after its initial creation. These changes were not visible to the naked eye, but became clear through detailed digital modeling. Another key discovery involved the inscriptions. Some hieroglyphs showed signs of modification, where original markings may have been altered or overwritten. This pointed toward intentional changes, rather than natural wear or damage. By comparing these results with earlier findings from 2020 studies, researchers concluded that these were not random imperfections. Instead, they indicated a process of modification, likely carried out to adapt the mask for a specific purpose. The consistency of these changes suggests careful adjustment rather than error, reinforcing the idea that the mask may have originally been created for someone else before being repurposed. The name that may have been erased. As analysis deepened around the mask of Tutankhamun, attention shifted toward the possibility that it was not originally made for him. During 2023 studies, researchers began comparing structural details with other royal artifacts from ancient Egypt, noticing features that did not fully align with a male ruler. Certain design elements, including proportions and decorative patterns, appeared closer to those associated with female royalty. This led to growing discussion around Nefertiti, one of the most well-known yet mysterious figures from that period. Her sudden disappearance from historical records has remained unresolved for decades. Some scholars believe that artifacts originally created for her may have been repurposed after political changes during the late 14th century BC. Further evidence came from subtle inconsistencies in the mask's construction. These were not surface-level details, but structural indicators revealed through modern imaging. The alignment of facial features and internal layers suggested adjustments had been made, possibly to adapt the mask for a different individual. By 2020 research, the idea that royal items were reused had already been established in other tomb discoveries. If the mask followed this pattern, it would explain why such a significant artifact shows signs of modification. This interpretation does not diminish its importance, but it changes its origin story, suggesting it may have been created for someone else before being altered for Tutankhamun's burial. A burial done in a hurry. The circumstances surrounding the death of Tutankhamun provide important context for understanding his burial. He died unexpectedly around 1323 BC, at an age estimated between 18 years and 19 years. His sudden death left little time for the extensive preparations typically required for a royal burial in ancient Egypt. His tomb, located in the Valley Kings, is noticeably smaller than those of other pharaohs. This has been confirmed through multiple surveys, including those referenced in 1922 discovery records. The limited space suggests it may not have been originally intended for a king, further supporting the idea of rushed arrangements. Inside the tomb, many objects showed clear signs of reuse. Items carried markings that had been altered, indicating they were originally created for someone else. This pattern appears consistently across different categories of artifacts, from ceremonial objects to decorative pieces. By 2020 studies, historians had concluded that the burial process likely relied on available materials rather than newly commissioned items. This would explain why the mask itself shows signs of adjustment. Instead of being crafted specifically for Tutankhamun, it may have been modified quickly to fulfill its role in the burial ceremony, reflecting the urgency of the situation. The technology rewriting history. In recent years, tools like CT scanning, 3D modeling, and AI analysis have transformed how researchers study artifacts from ancient Egypt. By 2023 analysis, these technologies were able to examine objects like the mask of Tutankhamun without causing damage, revealing internal details that had remained hidden for decades. What once relied on visual inspection can now be explored layer by layer. Earlier breakthroughs, including findings from the 2015 scans, had already uncovered hidden chambers and structural anomalies within tombs and monuments. These discoveries showed that many ancient structures still contain unknown elements beneath their surfaces. With the addition of AI, researchers can now detect patterns that are not visible to the human eye. AI systems analyze material composition, design inconsistencies, and construction techniques with high precision. In the case of royal artifacts, this means identifying differences in layers, adjustments in shape, and subtle variations in craftsmanship. These details help build a clearer timeline of how objects were created and modified over time. By 2020 research, it became clear that history is not fixed, but continuously evolving as new tools reveal deeper information. Each scan adds more context, allowing researchers to revisit earlier conclusions and refine them. The mask, once seen as complete and unchanging, is now part of an ongoing process of discovery that continues to reshape understanding of the past. What the mask was really meant to do. In ancient Egypt, funerary masks were not created as decoration, but as essential tools for the afterlife. The mask of Tutankhamun, discovered during the 1922 discovery in the Valley Kings, was designed to serve a spiritual purpose. It was meant to help guide the soul, ensuring recognition and protection beyond death. Every detail of the mask carried meaning. The use of gold symbolized eternity, while the eyes and inscriptions were linked to identity and spiritual navigation. The symmetry and design followed strict traditions, ensuring that the mask functioned correctly within burial rituals. When analysis from 2023 studies revealed signs of modification, it raised important questions about how these changes might have affected its role. Adjustments to structure or inscriptions were not simply cosmetic, they had symbolic implications within the belief system of the time. The evidence suggesting reuse aligns with the idea of a rushed burial. If the mask was altered rather than newly created, it indicates that completing the ritual took priority over maintaining original design integrity. This reflects how practical decisions may have influenced even the most sacred objects, especially during unexpected circumstances surrounding the burial. The bigger pattern in ancient Egypt. Evidence from the tomb of Tutankhamun shows that reuse was not limited to a single object. During the 1922 discovery, multiple artifacts were found carrying altered inscriptions and adjusted designs. By 2020 research, historians confirmed that several items inside the burial did not originally belong to the young king, suggesting a broader pattern rather than an isolated case. This pattern connects directly to the period following the reign of Akhenaten, a time marked by major religious and political changes in ancient Egypt. His reforms disrupted traditional systems, and after his death, the transition of power created instability. This affected royal planning, including burial preparations. As a result, resources and time may have been limited when Tutankhamun died around 1323 BC. Instead of crafting entirely new objects, existing royal items were adapted for immediate use. This approach reflects a practical response to unexpected circumstances rather than a failure of tradition. These findings shift how this civilization is viewed. Rather than operating with perfect continuity, it responded to real challenges. The presence of reused artifacts shows a system capable of adjustment, shaped by events rather than fixed in ideal conditions. Further analysis of burial items from the Valley Kings during 2023 studies revealed consistent signs of reworking across multiple objects, not just ceremonial pieces. This reinforces the idea that adaptation was not rare, but part of a larger response to shifting conditions. As more artifacts are re-examined with modern tools, this pattern continues to reshape how this period of Egyptian history is understood. What we all missed. For over a century, the mask of Tutankhamun has been seen as a flawless symbol of ancient Egypt, especially after the 1922 discovery brought it to global attention. It became one of the most recognized artifacts in history, studied and displayed as a complete and final creation. However, findings from 2023 analysis revealed that the mask contains layers and modifications beneath its surface. These details suggest that what appears unified may actually be the result of careful adjustments. The face, inscriptions, and internal structure all show signs of change that were not visible before modern technology was applied. This does not reduce its importance, but it changes how it is understood. The mask may still represent Tutankhamun, but its origin may involve earlier craftsmanship adapted for a new purpose. This reflects a process rather than a single moment of creation. As more tools become available, similar patterns may emerge in other artifacts. What has long been accepted as complete may continue to reveal deeper layers, showing that even the most familiar objects can hold details that remained hidden for generations. Further comparisons with artifacts from the Valley Kings during 2020 research have already shown similar signs of reuse and modification. This suggests that the mask may not be an exception, but part of a broader pattern within royal burials. As investigations continue, each new discovery adds to a growing understanding that ancient craftsmanship was not always static, but sometimes adapted to circumstances. The mask of Tutankhamun, once seen as perfect since the 1922 discovery, now tells a different story. With 2023 analysis, hidden layers and changes reveal it may not have been created exactly as believed in ancient Egypt. What looked complete was actually adapted over time. As technology continues to study these artifacts, more hidden details may surface. The discovery doesn't rewrite history, it expands it, showing that even the most iconic objects can carry secrets beneath their surface, waiting for the right tools to uncover them.